What's up, boys, girls, children of the universe? This is the 71st edition of the Countdown, a top 10 series brought to you by Show About Shows and me, JPO, Jordan Pearson. I'm joined by a fellow friend of mine, colleague in the movie universe here. Tonight we're discussing the one, the only, Goldie Hawn's main squeeze, Kurt Russell. I'm here with Zach Shelton, from As Movie Fan Z on YouTube. Zach, how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on. Kurt Russell is one of my favorite actors, so anytime we get to talk about him, always a good time.
Yeah, no, he's a cool presence in films, whether it's a leading or I feel more co-starring role in the recent years. But interesting to see where things lie. I definitely have some gaps, and things I haven't seen, so maybe some obvious ones will be left off. First, we'll go with the honorable mentions. These, of course, films that are just right outside our top 10. Zach, any honorable mentions?
Yes, I do. My honorable mentions are Furious 7, Sky High, The Fate of the Furious, Dark Blue, and F9.
Might have a couple of those myself here. Sky High is also on mine. I know there's some love for it, but it's just nothing that I've ever gravitated to too much. F8, The Fate of the Furious, not a great follow-up to F7. Escape from LA, it's Escape from New York, just not as good. Deepwater Horizon, pretty good drama here, so I'm getting the films I really like. At number 11, Vanilla Sky, a weird, wacky trip. But now we're in the ones that actually are in our top 10. Zach, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is one that I actually watched a couple of days ago for the first time in preparation for this, and that is 1996's Executive Decision. So this is like your typical plane being taken over by terrorists, have to go in, save the plane. But with him and Steven Seagal and even like B.D. Wong, it really works with this movie. And I feel like you get a different side of him. And I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So at number 10 is an Executive Decision.
Nah, it's a cool flick here. Will I talk about it later? I don't know. Only time will tell. Coming in at my number 10 here. One I haven't seen in a while, so maybe it's worth a second look here. I got Backdraft coming in. Excuse me. From the early 90s here. Of course, about our firemen here. So, really good. I thought, from what I remember, good gripping drama here. Stacked cast here, some of them. Kind of like Executive Decision, Steven Seagal, wink, wink. Don't make it throughout the entire film here. But still a good herring tale. I believe that our boy Ron Howard film. Yeah, Ron Howard film too. So he's good in here. And the often forgotten about third or fourth Baldwin brother, William Baldwin, in an important role as well. So Backdraft coming in at my number 10. What do you got at number 9?
Number 9, I'm going to go with 2018's The Christmas Chronicles. So this is where you get a different perspective of Santa and more of a cool Santa. And it's a Netflix original, but Kurt Russell gives everything in this movie, and it's a fun time to see a different version of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, this is one. That's actually another one that's on my my blind spot here. Actually, here I haven't seen it. I'm not always the biggest. I don't want to say biggest Christmas guy, but certain Christmas movies don't necessarily jump high on my list here. So I've heard good things. Obviously, there's a follow up to it as well that I haven't seen either. Coming in my number 9, Escape from New York. That I mentioned before, Escape from LA on the honorables. New York much better though. A fun dystopian future. Great 80s film with John Carpenter here. Fun seeing Donald Pleasance as the President of the United States, because I only literally, me personally, know him from the Halloween movies, so it's fun to see him and do something different here. And just enjoyed the weird world that they built here. And Russell very good and charismatic as a Snake Plissken. What you got at number 8?
Number 8 was actually a movie I saw a couple of years ago for the first time, and that is 1987's Overboard. him and Goldie Hawn. You get that great romance aspect, but there is a lot of comedic moments in here, some dramatic moments too. So it's a movie that kind of has everything, and I dug it.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen this. I weirdly enough, I'm one of those weird people that I've only seen the Anna Faris version. For the 3 times I'm gonna bring up my boy QT Quentin Tarantino. I believe also the first chronologically, Death Proof, coming in at number 8, part of the Grindhouse feature that he did along with Robert Rodriguez. I actually prefer this one here because again, I think the script is just it's almost too good for a Grindhouse film. Again, Russell's really good here, and then the comeuppance he gets finally from the girls, I think is a lot of fun here. It's a fun vehicle, practical effects, stunt-driven film. What you got, number 7?
Number 7, I'm going to go with a movie that you actually mentioned, and that is Backdraft. This is a movie actually last year that I saw for the first time, and again, it has that dramatic moment. It has the chemistry with him and William Baldwin. There's intense moments. There's action, and I just feel like him and Baldwin just are like this. Like it is their movie, and it's just like, no other person I feel like could have done what they did in the movie.
A little bit of a trade for mentioning movies here. You mentioned my number 10. I'm legitimately now mentioning your number 10, so we flipped. Executive Decision, as you brought it before here. Yeah, this has always been a fun 90s action flick that I've enjoyed literally since it first came out here. Really fun side cast as well, people that I enjoy a lot. Guys like John Leguizamo, Oliver Platt, and also a pretty early Halle Berry performance as well here. And the best part, Seagal, not in it that much. So yeah, this is a fun one that I think more people should check out. What you got, number 6?
Okay, number 6. I'm going to go with a movie that I actually rewatched recently, and that is Tango and Cash. First time I saw it, I was not a big fan of it, but I decided to give it a rewatch last year, and I really enjoy the chemistry with him and Stallone. I think the way that their two characters are so different, it works. The only thing is, I wish they would have delved a little deeper into those like opposites, but that's kind of just a small nitpick. But the action, the comedy, just everything works in this.
Yeah, it's one that I feel like it's one of those ones I feel like I saw maybe on VHS back in the day, but not enough to put it on the list. As far as like, if I haven't seen it in literally 30 years or so, 25 years, and I don't feel fair putting it too high or low. Coming in at number 6, again, shows you how much I like this little top half here. From the MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, plays, of course, Star-Lord's father, Ego, the planet. Yeah, again, he's really fun here. The best part might be the kind of stuff between him and Chris Pratt here. I like some of the humor, though. This might be my least favorite Guardians, though, maybe why it was a little bit lower. But it still shows you how kind of a tight of a trilogy that is. That is still a movie that I like, and I will rewatch from time to time. So, Guardians of Volume 2. What do you got in your top half now? We're almost halfway there, living in a prayer. Number 5.
I will say about Guardians, yeah, it's my least of the 3. I felt like they delved a little too much into the comedy, but I felt like Kurt Russell was the best part of the movie. So now number 5 is a surprise. It might be the biggest surprise. It kind of relates to your number 9, but it's Escape from LA. I actually like LA a little bit more than New York. I feel I like the adventure aspect more. I like the dystopianness of it. And I just feel like Stank Plissken is given more to do and just a different, unique circumstances. So Escape from New York is still in like my top 20, but Escape from LA I really enjoy. So
no, fair enough here. For number 5 here, I got Bone Tomahawk, basically a Western horror, very gritty film here. This is from S. Craig Zahler, who also has very interesting filmography. He's got Drag Across Concrete with Mel Gibson, Brawl in Subblock 99 with a very serious Vin Diesel. This one here, set cast as well. Of course, Russell is your number one lead here, but you got anywhere from David Arquette, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox popping up as well. The late Sid Haig from Devil's Rejects as well. Yeah, this thing is if you've seen Terrifier, someone's giving you Terrifier vibes as to how gory a couple of the scenes go here, and I never quite know what's going to happen. It's a really, really well made film. What do you got number 4?
I will say Bone Tomahawk is definitely one that I have wanted to see. I just have not gotten around to it. So, number 4, I'm going to go with a movie that I also just rewatched. Big Trouble in Little China is my number 4. If you want to talk about ridiculous and over the top, this is a movie that you talk about. If you go into this thinking that this movie is going to be serious at all, then you do not have the right movie in mind, because it's so entertaining, but it's also kind of stupid, and that's kind of the joy of it. So I'm going with Big Trouble in Little China is 4.
Might be my biggest omission here is Big Trouble in Little China, one I personally have not gotten to. So as far as Kurt Russell led movies, my number 4, our second mention for me anyway, of Quentin Tarantino, The Hateful Eight. Again, this script is just so tight here. Him coming along with Jennifer Jason Leigh, trying to drop her off, whether or not who can he trust. Samuel Jackson is one of my favorite Jackson performances in here. I think Quentin Tarantino sometimes brings out the best in Jackson. The entire cast. Tim Roth back in a Quentin Tarantino movie here. And again, just a fun, you never know, again, who's backstabbing who's betraying who, and you're there. And this is one of those, it's a long one. There was even, I believe, one of the only times I've ever seen an intermission in a movie theater, but it's worth it. Hateful Eight coming in at my number 4. What do you got number 3?
The Hateful Eight was actually my number 16, so it's right.
You're high. You're high. Overboard better than Hateful Eight. Whatever. I love you though. But what do you got number 3?
Number 3 is the 2006 remake of The Poseidon Adventure, Poseidon. So I really enjoy this movie. It has a good cast in it. You have Richard Dreyfuss. You have Emmy Rossum in here. You have Andre Braugher at the beginning. But
Spoilers. I guess he gonna live long.
Yeah, but it's a good tense thriller, but with action as well. And if you like the Poseidon Adventure, I would say give this movie a chance, because I think it's better, but it's right on that level. So Poseidon for me.
Disagree. My number 17. So this movie didn't do a hell of a lot for me here. I don't know if I recommend definitely I do recommend the first one probably over it. My number 3. It's been a long time without you, my friend, but I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. I love Furious 7. I don't even remember if he's in it that much. I just know this film hit on the action, the heart, them driving away, that song. This was so good. This should have been the last time that we mentioned Brian. I thought they ended on such a high. This maybe should have been the last movie, actually. To be honest with you, if they'd ended here, what a franchise this could have been here before the 8th one, which is one of my least favorites. The 9th one's fine. 10th one's fun because at this point I'm just like whatever. But Furious 7 is one that I highly recommend. What do you got number 2?
I will say I do agree that Furious 7, basically with that ending, should have been the last one. It's like that was a good way to end it.
Money.
Number 2 is actually my favorite horror movie of all time, and that is The Thing. This movie, it's not necessarily, it has the jump scares, but it's more about the isolation and the just how tense being all by yourself and the claustrophobia, just everything about it works for me. And again, you have another good cast. It's a John Carpenter movie. You have Keith David in here. You have a lot of other people, but it works as a thriller, but also as a horror movie.
Hell yeah, The Thing is dope. Coming up number 2, the last time I'll mention Quentin Tarantino now. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is just, I think, again, just such a tight script here. I also love movies about movies and movie making and whatnot. And I also love the fact that after Inglourious Basterds, Tarantino just like, yeah, I can change Hollywood if I want. I can change literal real life events. And so this is a fun alternate version of what could have happened to Margot Robbie's character in like a better way. So Brad Pitt, I think, and Leonardo DiCaprio absolutely kill it here. Again, there's about 10 more performances we can mention, as well as Kurt Russell doing great stuff. So I love your number 2. So what does that leave for your number 1? What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Miracle, the story of the 1980 U.S. hockey team, and him as Herb Brooks, the coach. This is just my favorite performance of his. He just puts everything into this movie. I actually think, in a way, he should have gotten a nomination for Best Actor for this. I'm surprised he didn't, but it has a very well done story, and it has those thrilling moments, and it just makes you want to root for this team even more as you're watching the movie. So my number 1 is Miracle.
Okay. It's either this or Big Trouble is my biggest blind spots for Russell, yeah. I know you're not alone in the love for this movie here, so I won't get too mad that The Thing is not your number 1, because The Thing is my number 1. I have always flipping loved this movie here. Again, I mentioned one of the things that I love the most about Death Proof is that you believe in what's going on here. The eclectic cast that they got going on here is fantastic. You believe that these guys are, in the Antarctic, trapped with something, and you never know who's again. It's like now going back to the Hateful Eight, who's telling the truth, who's infected, what is going on here. The violence, the practical effects hold up. When the remake was, or the recall, whatever it is, with Winstead came out, I was like, just watch the first one. It's so good. I love the ending. I love everything about it here. It still holds up. Still a great movie. The Thing, probably the one that we agree on the most here, coming in at my number 1. So that was 10 for me and 10 for you, talking about Kurt Russell here tonight. Zach, you want to go over your top 10 list one more time?
And I did want to mention, because it's always,
sure,
this movie has always been praised for the use of practical effects, and it just like movie is awesome when it comes to those effects. 100%. So, but in terms of my list, at number 10 you have Executive Decision. At 9, The Christmas Chronicles. At 8, Overboard. At 7, Backdraft. 6, Tango and Cash. 5, Escape from LA. 4, Big Trouble in Little China. 3 is Poseidon. 2, The Thing. And number 1 is Miracle.
Very nice. That's for me, my top 10 tonight, brought to you by Letterboxd. Add me over at JP Owens, or J Powens, if you will. Backdraft at my number 10. Number 9, Escape from New York. Number 8, Death Proof. Number 7, Executive Decision. Number 6, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Number 5, Bone Tomahawk. Number 4, The Hateful Eight. Number 3, Furious 7. Number 2, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And number 1 is The Thing. So yeah, anything in our top 5, go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen it already. Zach, any plugs or parting words for you?
Yeah, you can find me on Letterboxd and YouTube at MovieFanZ. Always uploading new reviews every day or every other day. And thank you again for having me.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, until next time, here at the countdown of the Cruise Go. Stick around and tune in. And hey, we love you more than you'll ever know. Like and subscribe. Motherfuck, noise.